The film begins with a man named David sharing a dream with his wife Ramona. In it, their home was finally finished, beautifully decorated, with the yard blooming with her favorite irises. He tells her that life felt perfect for them and their two children, and the only thing missing was a name for their dream house. When he asks Ramona, she can't think of one, and the two simply cuddle in bed. It's revealed that Ramona is actually watching a video of this moment on her phone, Reminiscing. She tries to replay it, but her teenage son Taylor interrupts, telling her the power is out. He asks her to call the electric company, and she agrees. Once he leaves, Ramona carefully rises, revealing her foot is injured and she needs crutches. She quietly prays for strength before going to check on her young daughter Annie. Meanwhile, Taylor heads outdoors, playing with their dog Charlie before feeding the chickens in the barn. We realize that the family now lives in the very house David had described in his dream. Taylor collects the mail and heads back inside. But when he goes to feed Charlie, the dog food is gone, so he substitutes it with table scraps. He then tries to cook breakfast, but the stove doesn't light and the matches are finished, so he goes to the attic. Searching through his dad's old belongings, he eventually finds a lighter. At the same time, Ramona debates whether to take her medication, but decides not to. Her phone dies as well, preventing her from calling the power company. She later joins her children in the kitchen, where they're trying to prepare food. Even Annie helps by cutting butter, but Ramona quickly takes the knife from her. The family sits down for breakfast and shares some laughter, until the dog suddenly vomits and ruins the moment. Taylor chains Charlie outside, while Annie volunteers to clean the mess. Ramona drifts into disturbing visions of a car crash involving her husband, but snaps back when Taylor bursts in, saying a woman is in the yard. To Ramona's shock, she sees a woman completely dressed in black, calmly sitting on a chair. As Charlie barks furiously, Ramona instructs her kids to stay inside while she approaches. She calls out several times, but the stranger doesn't respond until Ramona comes closer, at which point the woman mutters and then asks how she ended up here. Her voice is unsettling as she begins prying into Ramona's life, asking her name and questions about the house. Uneasy, Ramona urges her to leave, claiming her husband will be back soon. But the woman points out the broken leg in the wrecked truck, concluding there was an accident and that her husband must not have survived. She then chillingly remarks that Ramona's children are ripe enough to eat. Horrified, Ramona threatens to call the police, but the woman cryptically replies that today is the day, and that she's answering Ramona's own call. She lifts her hands, smeared with blood, and Ramona realizes she slaughtered the chickens. Terrified, Ramona flees to the garage, scrambles into her Jeep, and tries to charge her phone to dial for help, but the engine refuses to start. Charlie continues barking until the woman summons a shadowy figure that silences him instantly. Inside, the kids watch their mother running, realizing danger is near. Taylor prepares to confront the stranger, but Ramona rushes back in, locking the doors. She tells them the woman must have wandered from a nursing home and insists they shouldn't interfere. Taylor, suspicious, asks why she was in the garage, and Ramona lies, saying she went for a flashlight. Soon, Taylor keeps watch at the window and suggests grabbing their father's gun. Ramona sternly forbids it and orders him to his room. Though he protests, Taylor eventually goes upstairs, but continues spying on the stranger. Ramona follows later, assuring him the woman will be removed once the power returns. Later, the family gathers in one room. As Taylor sleeps, Ramona remembers Charlie and ventures out. Instead of finding him, she discovers his chain buried deep in the soil, no dog attached. She nervously pulls at it, realizing Charlie is gone. Time shifts to Taylor waking and urgently telling his mom they should go to a neighbor's house to use a phone. He offers to drive since she's injured, but she refuses, insisting he's too young. He suggests going on foot, but she denies that too. Frustrated, he begins bouncing a ball against the wall until Ramona snaps, instinctively seizing a knife, though she doesn't use it. Instead, she throws the ball outside. She then unfairly scolds Annie for writing her letters wrong, but quickly regrets it and embraces her. Yet as they hug, Ramona hallucinates, seeing herself stabbing her daughter. She shakes it off, but moments later, Annie screams from the kitchen, having cut her foot on something. Ramona tends to her upstairs, giving Taylor the chance to sneak an iron rod and slip outside. The first thing he sees is the bloody barn, and he bolts to the garage. He tries to start the Jeep, but it still won't work. Worse, the woman has vanished from her chair. He spots her walking past the garage, panics and notices the tarp on his dad's car blowing off, revealing the mangled wreck from the crash. As fear overwhelms him, a shadow creeps toward the garage. Back outside, the woman has returned to her chair, closer than before. Taylor storms back inside, demanding answers about the Jeep and the woman. Convinced Charlie is dead, he accuses his mom of hiding the truth. Ramona insists she's only protecting them, but Taylor lashes out, telling Annie not to trust her. He accuses his mom of being on crazy pills, provoking Ramona into throwing a basket at him before quickly apologizing. Furious, Taylor locks himself in his father's room, where he retrieves a shotgun. Ramona begs him to open the door, but he ignores her, loading the single shell he finds. He locks his mother inside, tells Annie not to let her out, and storms outside with the weapon. Taylor aims the shotgun at the mysterious woman, demanding she leave or he'll shoot. But she rises, removes her veil, and calmly tells him his mother has been lying. She claims the truth about the accident has been hidden. Inside, Ramona begs Annie to unlock the door, and when she does, Ramona rushes out only to be confronted by Taylor, who demands she finally tell him what really happened. Realizing she can't escape, Ramona reveals the truth. She recalls the night of the crash. She and David had gone to dinner to celebrate moving in. Though David and the kids were happy, she felt trapped, yearning for her lost ambitions. She argued with David, saying she wanted to move again. He urged her to work through it, but she stormed off, seizing the keys and insisting on driving. While speeding, she glimpsed the same woman in the rearview mirror, became distracted, and collided with another car. In the present, Taylor breaks down. He'd always believed his father was driving. Meanwhile, Annie encounters supernatural activity, her ball being tossed, objects moving, and finally a shadow manifesting. She screams as Ramona and Taylor watch the woman wreak havoc, tossing objects and grabbing a knife. But when Taylor closes the curtains, the knife falls. They realize the woman's power is tied to light, so they rush to the attic, the darkest place available. They manage to shut themselves in, but light from a window allows the shadow to grab Annie. Taylor blocks it, saving her. They huddle together, thinking they're safe, but as night falls, darkness gives the entity freedom. The woman enters, overturning objects. Taylor shines a flashlight, revealing her chair, but then the demon knocks the light away. Ramona swings a bat but is easily thrown aside. Taylor is also overpowered. Annie, clutching the torch, is cornered as the woman approaches, assuring her she won't hurt her and has come to take her home. The demon embraces Annie and vanishes with her. Taylor and Ramona chase after them, following Annie's cries to a strange passage. On the other side, Ramona sees David alive in bed, describing the same dream as before. She lies beside him, but when she notices his tattoo reversed, she realizes the world is inverted. Suddenly, she awakens outside, sitting where the woman had once been. Another version of herself approaches, repeating the words, "Today is the day." When the veil comes off, Ramona snaps back to the attic, now in the woman's place, calling to Annie and repeating the same eerie lines. She embraces her daughter, and in an instant, she's back in the room, holding Annie tightly. Taylor runs in and Ramona urges him to take Annie to safety. Armed with a shotgun, Ramona faces the demon, demanding she leave them alone. The woman responds that Ramona herself summoned her through her daily prayers for strength. She reveals that Ramona had discarded all but one bullet, intending to end her own life. Ramona denies it, but the woman chants, "Today is the day." Broken, Ramona asks only if her children will be safe. The demon shows her a vision of them happy in the future, convincing her they'd be better off without her. Ramona agrees, but asks to see them one last time. She sends them away with a flashlight to the neighbor's house, then returns to the attic, sits in the chair, and prepares to take her life. The entity presses the gun to her, then vanishes. Moments later, however, Ramona stumbles out alive, reunited with her children as the power returns. Even Charlie reappears unharmed. They head back inside together. But as the camera lingers on one of Ramona's paintings, we see her name written backwards, hinting she may now be trapped in a world of her own making. And that wraps up the chilling story of The Woman in the Yard, a film that blends grief, family, and psychological terror into something that lingers long after the credits roll. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another breakdown. What did you think of the ending? Was the woman real or just a reflection of Ramona's inner struggles? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes on the shadows. You never know who might be watching back.